the One Young World Summit is all about?
So it's about bringing together young leaders from all around the world that are doing amazing things, but also have the vision to be able to collaborate and not just do amazing things in their country, but to be able to bring about more global solutions as well. So for me, it's really about young leaders and the fantastic work that they're doing.
Eric, you're a South African, born and bred in this country. What's your expectations of this summit in South Africa?
As you say, Eben, this is the first time the summit will be on African soil. And more broadly speaking, we know that the world is too unequal, it's too unsustainable, and that the next generation has to find a way to bring their experiences into one room. And One Young World is all about how all of those experiences converge. And as you said tonight, the opening ceremony at Soccer City will see 1,200 delegates and about 8,000 kids from Soweto and Alex come together with the councillors to kick off the process of trying to find solutions to these major challenges.
Cooper, what are some of the highlights that today, I'm only talking opening ceremony, who's going to be talking, what should we be looking out for? What are some of the high points we should be seeing today?
Being able to see the diversity of countries that will be represented.
Yeah.
This summit is only second to the amount of countries that are represented in the Olympic Games, which is a very, very exciting opportunity. But also some of the councillors that you mentioned as well. That's a great opportunity for us to be able to learn and hear about their experience as well. So I think, being able to have a look at the diversity of countries and being able to connect with such a diverse range of young people.
Hope for the world. Eric, just tell us about your work here in South Africa and how it links in with the challenges that young people face all around the world.
Well, as you said, One Young World is a summit once a year, but it's also, more importantly, a movement. And it's a movement of people who attend the summit are inspired by their peers all over the world and by the councillors to create impact projects in their own country. I myself and my colleague Susan Porfer-Walsh came back from the summit, some of the first summits, and started a project called Nkulu Vryheid, which is really, it's a youth movement looking to kind of obtain a deeper freedom for all who live in South Africa.
Yeah. Cooper, you're based in Tanzania, which is very interesting because you come from the UK and you do your work in Tanzania. Tell us a little bit about the challenges that the young people are facing in East Africa. It's an area that's going through a bit of an economic boom. Is life becoming a little bit easier for young people in East Africa, and is there more hope for them?
I'd like to say yes, but I think the reality is there are a lot of exciting things that are happening within East Africa, but I think it's now for the youth to be able to actually take ownership and actually benefit from those opportunities as well. Personally, I'm based in the Kilimanjaro region, and there are endless opportunities, both with tourism and resources as well. But unfortunately, I think in the past anyway, these have been benefited by not the youth of Tanzania or even Tanzanians. So I think moving forward, a lot of my work is based around entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. So how we can use these resources and use these opportunities for these youth to really be able to benefit themselves, but also benefit their communities as well, which is what a lot of my work focuses on.
I also see that you involve in teaching. Is it empowering Africa's children through teaching?
Yes.
What kind of challenges are you facing dealing with that?
Well, we say education, but it's in the informal educational sector. So one of the big challenges in Tanzania and East Africa is, I find, the formal education. It's not equipping the youth and the next generation appropriately to be able to actually be active members of their community and their country. So our work is in education, but it's in the informal training and mentoring side of things to be able to empower and equip the next generation to be active and to be able to actually bring about changes that they need for themselves, as opposed to it being an outside-in process.
Yeah. Eric, South Africa's role, we're hosting the One Young World Summit. How do you see us now, and what do you see our role in the months and years to come?
Well, the number of ambassadors in South Africa is one of the largest or most represented countries as far as I understand. So the impact projects that will come from that are quite spectacular and have been so far. I myself am a bit biased about this year's summit because I'll be presenting tomorrow with Lefut Lamini and Susan Puffer Walsh with Mr. Annan and Bob Geldof about our project at the summit. And that's really the process, is that it's about creating projects that implement actual change, and then at the summit advertising that and promoting that so that other people can replicate the same thing in their own countries.
What have been the major positives and wins that have come out of the summit over the last few years?
I think it's evident by the projects that the young delegates and the ambassadors are doing, but also I think it's the network that's being created as well. I think that in the past and even currently there are so many organisations and initiatives that exist, but I think the reality is there are a lot more. There's a lot more collaboration that needs to happen, and there are a lot of synergies that can be made between the activities that we're carrying out, whether it's in the same area geographically or within the same development categories. So I think that the network that this summit has been able to create and the opportunities for collaboration and forming synergies between people's impact projects is one of the biggest kind of outcomes that's been provided.
Eric, talking about those collaborations, how do you see this summit being a catalyst to broadening the scope of work that needs to be done?
The theme for this year's summit is United 2013. And that speaks to, I think, the basic philosophy around the whole concept itself, is that bringing people together so as to unite for specific causes. And the summit is great in the sense that it allows the space for dialogue, but then it also creates the basis for future action and for actual change to happen in the world.
Thank you very much, Krupa Patel, for coming this morning, and Eric de Ridder, delegates at the One Young World Summit that gets underway at FNB Stadium a little bit later today. We'll have all of that for you on all our platforms. Of course, if you're there, you can send us pictures or comments to our pages on Twitter. It's at SABC Newsroom, that's this show, and at SABC News and Journal. Send us those pictures related to the summit or any other news of the day, any breaking news story in your area, and we'll broadcast it live with your name right here on SABC News. After the break, we'll be in Cape Town and